Okay, so today we're going to be looking at solving problems involving ratios, rates, and proportional relationships. I'm going to show you a variety of methods to solve this problem. So the question here tells us that a trip is being planned from Kingston to Toronto, and by car, it's a 200-kilometer drive, but by train, it's 250 kilometers. We're also told that the car averages 90 kilometers per hour and the train averages 120 kilometers per hour. We need to figure out which method is faster, by car or by train. So we're going to start by listing the information that's been given. Well, we know that by car, it takes 200 kilometers. By train, it is 250 kilometers away. Okay, we also are told that the car's rate is 90 kilometers per hour and the train's rate is 120 kilometers per hour. So let's look at the car first. Well, 90 kilometers per hour, we can write this as a ratio. For every 90 kilometers traveled, we know that we are going to be driving for 1 hour. Ratios can also be written as fractions. So what we're looking at here is the car's distance, which is 90, over the car's time, which is 1. Well, we want to know if the car travels a total distance of 200, what will the total time be? And that's what's unknown. So we're going to put a variable here. We'll call this x. Well, because this relationship is proportional, for every 90 kilometers traveled over the hour, we want to know how long it will take for the car to travel 200 kilometers. We are going to set these equal to each other because this is a direct proportional relationship. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways to solve this. And the first method we're going to learn is we're going to find out what the scale factor is. We need to see what 90 is being multiplied by to get to 200. So the scale factor, we need to figure out what the scale factor is. 90 times what gives us 200? Well, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to take 200 and divide it by 90 so we can figure out what the scale factor, the missing number is. So 200 divided by 90, we can punch this in on our calculator, is approximately equal to 2.22. So that means to get from the first fraction to the second fraction, we have to multiply by 2.22. Whatever you do to the numerator, you must do to the denominator. So to get from here to here, we have to multiply by 2.22. And what that means is that for every 90 kilometers in 1 hour, the car will take 2.22 hours to travel 200 kilometers. So therefore, it will take the car 2.22 hours. We're going to compare this to the train. So if we look back at the question, now we see that the train travels 120 kilometers for every 1 hour. So once again, we can write this as a fraction. 120 over 1 is equal to, well, we know that the train, it takes 250 kilometers to get to Toronto. And we want to know how long does that take us. So again, that's an unknown, so we'll put an x here. Okay, the second method I'm going to show you, instead of finding the scale factor this time, we're just going to use cross multiplication. So what we want to do is we want to multiply the numerator by the denominator. We're cross multiplying. So 120 times x is 120x, because we don't know what x is. And then we are going to multiply the denominator by the numerator. So 1 times 250 is 250. We need to solve for x. We need to find the value of the unknown. So we need to isolate x. Whenever we need to isolate a variable, we have to do the opposite operations. So right now, our question says 120 multiplied by something. Well, to get rid of that, we need to do the opposite. So we're going to divide by 120. And these two numbers cancel out. Again, whatever you do to one side of an equation, you must do to the other side to keep it balanced. 250 divided by 120. And again, we'll do this on our calculator, and we get 2.08, which means that the train takes 2.08 hours to travel to Toronto. Okay, so as we can see, based on the question, the information given, at 90 kilometers per hour, it will take the car 2.2 hours to travel 200 kilometers, which is how long it will take by car to get to Toronto, and by train, it will take 2.08 hours to travel 250 kilometers. So therefore, the train will arrive first. It will get there in a shorter amount of time. And we can also see that the train actually travels at a faster rate. It's faster than the car.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.